So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So, with the reveal of the new treasure map, we saw that V2 category is boosted in this mouse treasure map, and this is usually a safe uh, assumption that he'll be the next 6+, which means he'll both get new art, he'll get boosted buffed stats, he'll get new special captain ability, he'll also get level limit break to make it even better. Like the previous two 6+ since level limit break at their max has gotten amazing buffs. So I'm just going to speculate a bit about what they'll do with Katakuri. So these are just my ideas, and I have not gone all out here. I just added like the direction I like them to take him. And I'm not focused so much on adding utility because whatever utility they add, I feel like it will be pretty random. So I'm not really focused on that. But yeah, I actually really like the design of this unit, at least the captain ability. That captain ability is really cool, even today. Just that the numbers are a bit low now. But the special is, of course, pretty much unusable today. So if we start with the current captain ability, basically Katakuri boosts fighter, slasher, shooter driven, and powerhouse characters by 1.85 times, and this means that if you have fighter, you get 1.85 times, and if you have slasher, for example, you get an additional 1.85 times. And additionally, all these classes also get a color affinity buffs by 1.4 times. So if you are a fighter and a slasher and you hit with color affinity, in total you end up having a 4.79 times attack multiplier. And I think this is a super cool design. Like, you have to build around classes as well as colors. You have to unite them, and then if you hit with all of those combined, you get even more attack. So I'm a very big fan of that design part. He also makes strength, side recovery, and tandem orbs beneficial for everybody. And then he has the same captain ability as V4 Katakuri in that all the damage he takes back, he heals back half of it. So if you run double V2 Katakuri, you will heal back 100% HP, basically. So now I thought we jump into how I'd like to see this changed. And I said, I really like the core part of this design, and I'm not going to touch that. I will build on it, and I will also add a little bit of extra that I think will be pretty cool, that I'll talk a bit about more when we get to the special. But yeah, this is my idea for new captain ability for the 6+ category. Probably with full level limit broken buffs. So basically my idea is boost attack of fighter, slasher, shooter driven, and powerhouse characters by 2 times. Boost their color affinity by 1.4 times. So if you end up being a fighter slasher and you hit with color affinity, you end up getting 5.6 times attack total. This is a pretty big jump. Like, they could go even further, like if they do 1.5 times color affinity here, we're talking 6 times attack when you hit. And I think that might be justifiable, so I wouldn't mind them doing it, but I peeled it back a bit to not look like too unrealistic numbers. Also makes strength, psi, int, recovery, and tandem orbs having matching slot effects for all characters. I added int here just because I feel like there should be some buff, and the best buff you can give like a psi unit is that int orbs are always beneficial. Requires 50% of damage taken from enemies in the previous stage when entering a new stage. And this is the same as now. Like, if you take 20k damage, move on to next stage, you heal 10k damage. And if you run double Katakuri, you do a full heal. I can't see them buffing this, it's good enough already. I also added, if a Charlotte family member is on the crew, or if the crew has 1 unit of every color, extends any color affinity buff for 1 turn. And yeah, I'll talk about this more when we get to the special, but as you see so far, I really want to hone in on the color affinity aspect of this unit because I think it's really cool. Because I don't want this to be like, oh, when you use V2 Katakuri, you build like mono-side teams or something. No, like if one boss is strength and one boss is int, with Katakuri can be very good. Like he can do a lot of damage to the int boss, and you can have other units that are like quick that do a lot of damage to the strength boss, and I really like to hone in on that aspect. So if we leave the captain ability behind, let's look at the special. This is his current special, and it's a joke really. Deals 30 times the damage taken from enemies before the special is activated in typeless damage to all enemies. This is just a huge, lot of pure damage. Like, I think it ends up being like up to 6 million damage, which is respectable, but you have to take 200k damage yourself for that to be reached. And he also adds 15 times the damage taken from enemies before the special is activated as additional typeless damage for 1 turn. And basically this is tap timing damage, gets blocked by normal attacks only. The rest of his special does as well. And this ends up being like 3 million extra damage, I think. So not very special. At least it does damage. You can use some support thanks to that, like the Trash Map Legend Sanji. I've used the Opera support on him to remove the spear, stuff like that. But let's see how I want to buff him, and I've really not made a lot of changes. Like, when I think now, you could add like a second mode, like we 2 Duffy did, that like if the enemy has normal attacks only, you get something else. You could add that, but I just worked with what they had and added a bit extra. So I changed it to deal 50 times the damage taken from enemies before the special is activated in typeless damage to all enemies. And this is the same that Legend Kuma got. Legend Kuma also does 50 times the damage taken. And I think this ends up being like 10 million damage or something. Quite a lot of damage anyway you can do if you take 200k damage. You could also reduce the amount of damage you have to take and increase the damage even more as well. Like, they can do this in different ways. He also adds 25 times the damage taken from enemies before the special is activated in additional typeless damage for 1 turn. Pretty sure this will end up being like around 5 to 6 million in between there. Total possible damage, pretty respectable. But of course, most of the time that will not really be abusable. So what I added instead was a color affinity buff. So you also boost color affinity of fighter, slasher, shooter, driven, and powerhouse characters by 2.25 times for 2 turns. And you can see a bit what I was thinking with the captain ability then. So if you use this special, you get a 2 turns color affinity. If you fulfill the conditions, you can get it for 3 turns. And the conditions are a bit varied. So you can either go like add another Charlotte member, or you can add one of every color. And one of every color is pretty cool, since you can hit anything really hard if you go that route. And even if you don't hit with color affinity, like the base attack is still 4 times attack, which is pretty respectable. It's better than like the first super type legends without hitting, with like, if we take Guido Snake Man, if you hit with that X unit, for example, he only has 3.75 times attack, so 4 times is pretty fine. The goal is to hit with that 5.6 times attack as much as possible, and with color affinity you can buff that attack even further, and other units can handle attack, orb, chains, and stuff like that. But as I said, they could add some utility as well. They could add a secondary normal attack only mode. Like, imagine normal attack only mode also doing like an attack boost and orb boost on top of the color affinity. That would be absolutely crazy. But as closing words, I'll say that I hope that they don't totally change Katakuri as a unit. I'd personally dislike if they went the carrot route. Like, sure, he would be easier to use if you just needed one of these 5 classes. But at the same time, I feel like he's really interesting to team build with. So we'll see how it happens, basically. Like, with Carrot, I was pretty happy since Carrot is so useful for speedrun teams and such. But for like Katakuri, like, I just want to have fun building with him, and I feel like laxing the restrictions won't make the team building that much more fun. but I won't be upset if it happens. Like, I just want the current concept of color affinity focus to remain. I actually think that's a very cool archetype. And it's even more interesting when you face mixed color content, like bosses with different colors and such. But yeah, it will be some time before we get this 6+ Katakuri, like we're talking the Kizuna. Actually, there's been a while since we last had a 6+. So I don't really remember if we're getting 6+ category this month or next month. I guess it's this month. Don't quote on that. Well, it must be this month, right? Yeah, because last month in Kizuna we didn't get one. So yeah, this month we should get 6+ category. That's pretty hype. I currently need 2 more dupes. If we add the 2 dupes we'll get from PvP. So I'm pretty close to maxing him. So anyway, these are my ideas. I hope you're looking forward to 6+ v category as much as I am. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.